Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's coffee chat where we discuss the EU and the current lore that I am discussing on the channel, and that is Darth Bane right now. And we're also going to discuss a little bit of funny Star Wars news that's kind of weird, and I think it'll give you guys a good laugh. Good morning, Jedi Padawan Tano. How are you doing? So, the most important question of the morning that I love to ask you guys, and I don't like how this is positioned, all right, is what's in your mug? So hopefully you brought your calf with you or anything that, interests you to drink while we sit here and discuss some Star Wars as well. So I hope all is well, and we'll wait a couple more minutes for people to trickle in. I'm having a good morning. My hair is not really having a good morning. I don't know why. But hey, that's life. That's life right there. Hey, Mr. Dystopian, how are you doing? Hello, Laura. It's been a while since I caught a stream. I am so glad you are here with us. And class 4 morning, my coffee is ready too. Matt G, oh my God, I'm here as if Miss Laura. Coffee. All right. And you're drinking black tea. Pretty cool. And we have Miss Martin Muses. How are you doing? Lovely. It's been a while since I fully just chatted with you. I hope you're doing well. So, and we have Zacharat. Howdy, y'all. I am glad you guys are here joining me. So we are going over again Darth Bane. So hopefully you guys have some knowledge or history of Darth Bane, or you read the trilogy. We do know he is the founder or maker of the Rule of Two that we are very aware of through the movies. And then we're going to talk about some legacy comics, which I have. So we're just going to talk a little bit about maybe Cade Skywalker's the legacy comics a little bit, just nerd out on them. EU stuff that may come up. And then there's this article I have or seen. I don't have. It's not my article. And this is funny. Star Wars reveals how Jedi block Force lightning. So this is brand new to the I guess you could say the new lore and how Jedi are blocking Force lightning with their sabers. So I thought it was kind of funny because they act like it is like a revelation or something. Oh, I love that. My hair is the best. Why, thank you. Thank you for flattering me. It's morning time and I feel like I'm still waking up. I don't know. Good morning, all. This is Critches. No coffee for me, though. Okay, that's fine. Whatever floats your boat on what you want to drink, that's great. I am on the West Coast here in the United States, so it's still morning. But if you're elsewhere, like when it's noontime, whatever you want to drink or whatever you have with you, that is fine. Hail all. So that's Parrot Head. How are you doing? Good morning. What are you drinking today as we sit here with this coffee chat? I have not had my coffee yet. Oh, go get your coffee. Go get your coffee. Go do it. Do it. I need to put that in my clips there. Do it. And Rennie, how are you doing? Hail to Rennie. And Tolfer, I think I said that right. Tolfer, hello. Hello, hello. So it looks like we're getting a good crowd in here this morning. Again, good morning. It's Thursday morning coffee chat. And so share in the comments what you like or what's your favorite scene or what you like about Darth Bane. So go ahead and start sharing that and we'll get going with a little bit of his story here. Oh yeah, I'd say it's morning, but it's actually 5 p.m. here in the UK. Yeah. So you probably have something very different to drink, something that, to unwind with. Iced coffee. Yummy. That sounds good. Let's see here. Hi, Jamie. How are you doing? My mug is filled with Kopi. I am probably saying that weird. Okay, so coffee with ginger. Perfection. Coffee with ginger. I have never thought of doing that combination whatsoever. I've had ginger tea. How does that taste? Describe with me the taste. So people in the chat, if you are familiar with Darth Bane, go ahead and share what you like about the character. Let's get this ball rolling and have a conversation about him. So he is an awesome character. He is an awesome Sith. Whoops. I am like totally going elsewhere with this. Let's see here. Darth Bane. I'm going to pull up a picture of him. I should have had it ready, but I was busy just chilling. Let's see here. All right. Did you guys know that that Darth Bane learned off a holocron of Darth Revan made? So I'm going to pull it up here. It's pretty interesting. I like this story. I really do. Let's see here. Chrome tab. Yeah. Share with you guys. There we go. So there's Darth Bane, and there's a silly whatever that is right there. So Darth Bane, basically he was an indentured minor, and he did not have a very good relationship with his father. His father basically verbal abuse and physical abuse, and he would call him the bane of his existence, and it was his fault that his mother died. So very tragic story from the beginning with that. Okay. Let's see. It's hard to single something out. Darth Bane is badass. True. It is really, really true. And we are just talking about Path of Destruction right now. So we're talking leading up from him being in the mines all the way to basically when he finds Darth Zana and he gets healed and all that from the poison that Githany, tries to kill him with. Yeah. Let's see. I've only read one of the EU books. Oh, really? Which one did you read, Parrothead? Let us know. And now it's not too late to begin it. And, if you want to see how the Rule of Two and how some of the Sith culture evolved, Darth Bane is a good read. Critches, I'm not actually that familiar with Bane, so I'm here for a lesson R2. Nice. All right. That's cool. And so that's an image, that's a picture of Darth Bane right there on the screen. And he's holding that holocron that I'm guessing it's the holocron that Darth Revan made and he learned from. And we'll go over that in a few seconds. Taste like coffee with ginger. It's Indonesian. Yeah. Okay, I just want to does it make it more spicier? Because I know ginger can be spicy or whatever. Kind of like, what a drink I like to get called Mexi Mocha. And that's basically the Mexican type hot chocolate, but with coffee. So you have the spices of the cinnamon and chili and all that in there. And then the coffee and the cocoa. Yeah, so I was just wondering. I got it from Toko. Okay. That's very interesting. I never, ever would think ginger with coffee. Ever. Okay. His armor was also interesting. Yeah, it was. All right. I remember Darth Bane had some armor, but I don't remember what it was called. I'm not recalling the name of it right now either. Shit. I guess I'm still waking up too. But yeah, so he had it was like an infestation of some kind of insects or something like that. And that it was kind of like a symbiote, like living thing where as long as they were allowed to live off him, they would protect him and enhance his force abilities. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. If that's the thing I'm thinking of. If that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. So, part of he basically was very strong in the force, particularly the dark side. And he escaped the mines. Like if you listen to my lore video or review of the novel, he escaped the mines and he ends up going to, a cantina and he fights a rebel trooper, kills him, and so now he's wanted. So his thing is like if he doesn't leave the planet or he doesn't get out of the light of the the Republic, the old Republic, or the Republic at the time, because we're talking about the old Republic, not the new. Um, then he would have to serve time, even though at the time it was more or less self-defense. He could plead self-defense and still win it out, probably, but it wouldn't. He would still probably have to serve some time. And so he runs into someone that says that he could take him to the Brotherhood of Darkness, and that's what the Sith faction is called then, is Brotherhood of Darkness. And he kind of questions him. He goes, well, I really don't want to even be a part of anything because I don't even care for the Jedi and their ways. And he was telling him, well, the Brotherhood of Darkness suits you more better. So in short, he goes to them. And because he is an acolyte of the Force or of the dark side, he's very, very strong. They decide to train him on Korriban. And basically, when you read the book, on the lore of Bane, those who get trained on Korriban at their facility there, they basically, that is for the really strong, inept Force users. And not everybody makes it through training either. But when you get trained on Korriban, basically that's to become a lord. That is to become a lord. So that was very intriguing. It just, really gets into his Force abilities with the dark side. Interesting. He uses a covered hilt like a curved hilt like Dooku. Yes, you see that right there. Ooh, I got sneeze. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. Oh man, sorry about that. All right, I'm drinking a mixed blend from Bones Coffee Company of Irish cream and high voltage. Oh, nice. Sounds like you're ready for the morning. And so Lord Khan and there's several lords there train these acolytes of the dark side, and they actually basically have, as they progress, the better they become, the quicker they learn, the stronger they become. Then they get personal training, so they get to be trained individually by these lords. And everybody has it's organized to where almost like the Jedi Order, where you have a faction or a time where you train in lightsaber combat and then other things as well. So it's very interesting to read how in that time frame of Star Wars, how the Sith trained and the Brotherhood of Darkness trained their Sith. Let me see here. Thank you. Thank you so much, darling. Hello, O.G.Starwars. Hi, Marlena. How are you doing? How do you do? How do you do? Okay. All right. Bless you. Thank you. That just came out of nowhere. But I have my art studio that I'm hoping pretty soon I get my green screen and stuff. But I do my live streams here in my art studio. And for a while there, I was facing on the other side, and the window was behind me. Now I'm facing the other direction where you kind of see like all my art supplies and stuff behind me. And so there's no air conditioning. When I got this portion of the house made, there's no air conditioning in here. We didn't put the vents in here. And so it's summertime right now. And where I live, can get up to 110 degrees. And so I have the window open and I have my fan going right here. So if you hear that little bit of sound, that's just my fan right now. So when I go on live streams in the evening time, it gets kind of hot in here. So I make sure that I cool it down. I have an AC vent on the other side over here of the wall or of the door. So that kind of helps. Let's see here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Stop speaking about your coffee blends. I'm having a coffee gasm. Wow. A coffee gasm, huh? Okay. Now I'm going to lose my voice. This is fun. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Or Laura is breaking down with sneezes and losing her voice. Maybe it is allergies. I live in an agricultural country here, and so we get a lot of stuff that's blooming, in the early summer, from spring into the early summer and all that. And then our grass needs to be mowed. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have this back here behind me that is a sunflower, and sunflowers are my most favorite flowers. I just love them. I have a sunflower growing in my yard right now. I always have them every single year. And I have to finish this, and then I can get on to the Luke Skywalker Twin Sons one I'm doing here. So I'm trying to not do too many projects as once in one sitting. I should do that since I do oil painting, but nah. You might be allergic to allergies. Probably. That's a thing, right? That's a thing. Fatal J, good morning. How are you doing? You know what? Your card is the only one I have right now. The other ones I'm getting them framed, but I put them in put them in back in the envelope that I got them in. And the reason why yours was missing that one time when I was showing is I just used yours as a bookmark. And so I, still have it on my table here with the book that I was using for the bookmark. So you're my bookmark. Let's see here. Coffeegasm is an orgasm over coffee and orgasm of coffee, or orgasm of coffee. I don't know. You guys can discuss that in the chat to make me laugh. Okay. Lucky that my channel is rated, for adults and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. Laugh out loud. All right. Classborn. Blue Mountain Yellow Bourbon. What is it? Oh, Classborn. Okay. Awesome, you guys. Yeah. So we have Darth Bane, and he is, like I said, very powerful on the dark side, and he starts to get trained in the Brotherhood of Darkness, and he wants to learn more. And he comes across on the Han. He comes across the holocron that's made by Darth Revan. And from there, because he wants to learn more and about the dark side, about the powers, about the alchemy of the Sith, he activates the holocron, and he starts learning from Darth Revan. And from there, he learns, about certain techniques and abilities, and also about the thought bomb. So I don't know if you guys ever heard about the thought bomb and what it does, but it's a very interesting tidbit of like a weaponry that uses Sith alchemy to trap the spirits of the Force users, and in short. So let's see here. Sorry, I'll keep it clear or clean. Clear or clean. There you go. Sorry, I will keep in clean. I get what you're saying. I get it. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys heard about the thought bomb in the original lore and what that does. God, woman, aren't you bored of Star Wars yet? Actually, not really, because I am talking about the original lore, and that is fun. Hello, Will Gentry. How are you doing, darling? Howdy, y'all. How is everyone this morning? We are all doing good. And what's in your mug? Not that one. Thought, not thought. Oh, shit. That's a good one. He comes in all sassy. Look at this. He just comes in like, here I am. You're a classic. Will, you are a classic. Thank you for making me laugh. Thank you so much. So, oh, goodness. The things that come out in this modern times, and then it can be used on anything. Oh, damn. That is a good one.
You rebel scum.
There we go. I forget that I have those little clips to use in my for my chat and for everybody. And so just bear with me as I learn more about the little nooks and crannies of everything as well. Yeah, so let's see here. All right, so, and then so we get Darth Bane. Let's see here. Hell, I need me a thought bomb. Where can I get him? Morning for the coffee enema chat. Oh Lord, that is like a hauntingness now from damn you, Steven. Damn you. All right. I only know of the nude bomb, but that's different franchise. Get smart. Hey Laura, checking you out at work. Gotta grab my iced coffee. Glad you're feeling better. Yes, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was food poisoning or whatever, but just like towards the middle of the day after I ate something, I started going downhill. And that was the other day when Dark Council was on. And then from there, I just totally just was like, I'm done. I'm done. Woke up the next day, still kind of not feeling good. Tried coffee. It was okay. And then slowly started feeling better. So I don't know if that was food poisoning or I have no idea, but that was just not good. Well, that's what Twitch is made for. And that's the thing. I'm not on Twitch, so but I kind of get what you guys are chatting about. Hey, Luke Skywalker. Greetings to the Grandmaster, Luke Skywalker. Thank you for coming in. It's been a while since I've seen you in my chats. H2O and coconut water in my mug. Nice. Coconut water is great, especially if you love to work out. It's a great way to restore your electrolytes. Where is Stephen Walton? I don't know, but yes, I can't believe that. That's haunting now. That's going to forever haunt my coffee chats. Let's see here. The best part of waking up is coffee. Oh my God. Oh, damn. No, I will just drink my normal. That's all right. Okay. We have a special guest that I'm bringing in. I'm going to go ahead and take something off my screen. So welcome, Mr. Abu Nas. I'm pulling him in this morning to chat with us on Star Wars. And I think that he would have fun making fun of this article I found as well. So,
well, I actually came in to the best part of waking up is in the butt. So I was like, oh wow, it's gonna be a great time tonight. I came to the right place.
Your timing. Yeah, your timing. I
can always smell something when something's getting good. I said, let me just hurry up. I'm currently still eating breakfast, so bear with me, everybody. But I've been invited by my lovely O.G.Starwars to talk about Darth Bane and the old EU, one of the best trilogies in the EU, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it was done by an author who was also one of the lead writers for the Knights of the Old Republic game back in the Xbox and PS days.
Mr.
And
Drew.
I was on it, and he basically created Darth Revan. So it makes perfect sense for him to go over, the formation of the Rule of Two, and the Rule of Two and Darth Bane was created by Terry Brooks, as he wrote the Phantom Menace novel, Episode 1. And I met Terry Brooks just before the World Trade Center fell down, and he was doing a book signing for, the Phantom Menace. As a matter of fact, at that time, I bought the book, for my wife, who I was married to at the time, and I figured, she liked Star Wars. I said I'll buy her the book, and he literally signed it for her. And I had a conversation with him afterwards about Darth Bane. I said, how did George, how did that concept, came to being? And he said that he sat down with George Lucas and he had, a meeting about what would be Palpatine's purpose for, doing what he's doing. Because it never was explained,
What?
before
They
that.
sat with George Lucas and, expanded on the universe lore? What?
Well, according to Terry, Well, according to Terry Brooks, like I said, it never was explored in terms of the
Oh, I
origins.
yes,
Yeah,
I
the
was gonna.
origins of the Sith at that time.
Yeah.
So Terry Brooks literally showed him what he written, and George was like, "Yeah, that's fine." He gave a synopsis of what Terry Brooks, thought that this could be the motivation for what Palpatine is doing currently in this trilogy, and George was all for it. But he literally, but he said that he didn't want to go too much into it because he left it for George to explore it however he wanted to do it. That all it was just for him to set it up. But the way he set it up in episode one pretty much was the seed that created the expanded universe's storylines of the Sith and the Jedi's history, and we didn't know that at that time back in 1999.
Yeah,
So
and
shout
and
out,
the, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I said shout out to Terry Brooks for
And
sitting
then
with me,
yes.
for pretty much like almost like 20-25 minutes, I believe. It wasn't
Wow.
that long, but
Oh,
I
that's
gained a
that's
lot of knowledge from him.
yeah. Even 25 minutes, will you gain a lot of knowledge. And the thing is that when George Lucas created the PT, he told the writers, "You guys can't write in this era just yet because I want to be the one that touches on the lore before you guys expand on it." And so we did have the rule of two, and then after that was said and done, and it was created in 1999, the Phantom Menace. Then Drew Carfacian is the one that did Darth Bane trilogy, and he got to expand on a little more. And what's interesting, in 1999, the Phantom Menace finally shed light on George's version of the Sith, which at first glance would not seem to align with what had appeared previously in the expanded universe. This canonical history describes a strict limitation of two Sith at one time, a master and an apprentice, and establishes that the Sith have been extinct for millennium. Working with the author Terry Brooks, Lucas revealed more specific details in the episode 1 novelization. 2,000 years in the past, a Jedi had left the Order to found the Sith. 1,000 years after that, the Sith Order disintegrated due to the infighting, and a sole survivor, Darth Bane. And we're getting to that right now. Restructured the order of the order to number only two. So basically, the rule of two. It is here that the history of the Sith began to coalesce. The extinction of the old Sith Order was merged with the tales of Rusan, and that's what we're getting into too. The Darth Bane became sole survivor from the encounter, living on to found the new Sith Order. This point was explicitly made in the Essential Chronicle 2000, chronologically. Yeah, I can't talk. In 2000, Secrets of the Sith in 2000, a young reader source book before being dramatized in the Jedi vs. Sith comics series 2001, and later still in Darth Bane books. So there's our history right there. So what you had said basically coincides with this bit of information given in the Essential Reader's Guide Companion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not gonna lie.
Give me 1 second. I'll be
You're
right
good.
back.
Okay,
Just
so
want to make sure I corroborate something. Give me 1 moment.
All right. Poet Scotty, not gonna lie, if Revan comes back to life, I would be scared. Terry who? What's Terry Crews got to do with this? Well, where there are any books that before the OT, before Lucas made the PT, had been released, what were set before the OT pre-1990 Phantom Menace? So we have like the books that were made before the PT basically was a lot to do with the OT era and the post Return of the Jedi, and that's including the Zahn trilogy.
I just in case somebody may think that, because like I said, I got detractors everywhere, and people might think, what? Abu Nas met Terry Brooks and they had a discussion? No, that can't be true. Well, Pilgrim, here it is. This is my copy of the first book, and I bought it in the World Trade Center same day that Terry Brooks was there. And I asked him to autograph it for my wife at the time, and that's what he did. So this is your proof that I was there live in the flesh and had this discussion. So that to me, what he said out of his mouth in the meeting with George Lucas is absolutely and positively cannot be debated.
Yeah.
It is true. So
Yeah.
he came up with the name. He never expanded on it outside of just setting things up. And that was for George Lucas to explore however he wanted.
Yep, because he's the maker.
Right.
He's the maker of the lore. Terminus, basically, I'm like over 3,200 hours coming up onto monetization. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, maybe I will have that, and then we'll have a huge celebration. Yes. Subhuman, hey, morning, everyone.
No, that's funny. I never showed that to anybody.
Wow, and perfect timing with this right here because we were talking about.
It just occurred to me. I never showed this to anybody. Anybody. So.
Yeah. Good morning, Jefferson. And Parrothead says, "Wow." So everybody's like all like in love with your signed book now. Everybody's like just drooling and.
Well, I want to make it clear because, like I said, sometimes people might get it in their head that that couldn't have happened, and no, everything that Terry Brooks said, I never forgot it. Never forgot it because I loved his novel. I loved his novelization of Episode 1. The book came out a month before the movie. Okay, so I've already read it. But even going into the movie, I was still blown away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, just getting the details of his thought process as he sat at the feet of the maker and, with throwing the ideas on how he had to write the novel based off of his movie. So absolutely, absolutely incredible meeting.
Yeah. And then, so Dollified said, "Wait, your ex didn't take it from you? I think you took it from her."
Actually, what happened when we finally did get divorced, she forgot about the book. But she wasn't a hardcore Star Wars fan like me. And I told her about it. I said, "Babe, do you still want the book?" And she said, "No, you keep it. Because you read the book more times than I did." So, and I said, "Okay." But I always left it open. If she wanted it back, I got it. I bought the book. I asked Terry Brooks to sign it for her. That's what he did. He wrote her name. But as it stood, she didn't ask for it. So it's been in my house ever since. That's been over 20-something years ago.
All right. So Terminus wants you to read this. I guess this is for you. I know we've been just chatting about, the dynamics of the Sith and Darth Bane and your...
Yo, Abu, this one's for you. Dave Filoni is Ahsoka for love. Dave Filoni is Ahsoka for love. Get it? Yeah, I get it, brother. Very good, very good. Salute. It took me a minute to just kind of like get it going. I was like, wait, Ahsoka. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to deal with a lot of sucker for love yesterday. The Jodie Corner war.
I missed out on what was going on with that. So
trust me, it was a barn burner, but he finally blocked me like a little punk that he is. But
I seen that. Yeah, it happens. So what? No, skin off your back, right?
Nope, not even a one. The Gospels are more.
Abu's got that strong silhouette looking like the big boss character in the game that you haven't unlocked yet. I choose you. I want that as my character next. What do I do to get there? All right. Oh, goodness. So what's so interesting about Darth Bane? And we were talking about the thought bomb. And so Will Gentry had a very funny joke about calling it the thought bomb, like the thought, THOT bomb. And he came in like, bam, here I am. Aren't you tired of talking about Star Wars to me? Just bam, that was his hello to me. And I was like, why, hello, Will, how are you doing? And so we started talking about the thought bomb, and he, went that angle of the thought bomb.
Right. So, as a matter of fact, it should be a thought bomb around here too. But then again, that's what TikTok is for and Instagram. That's why I don't sign. That is why I don't sign up for that madness.
Yeah.
I'm too old for it.
Jedi Padawan Tano, not Dave. Laugh out loud.
Yes, Dave. Yes, Dave. Davy Dave.
Filoni
Rennie,
says,
oh my God, that's my girl.
mm-hmm,
Rennie said, Filoni is an Ahsoka simp. Yep,
mm-hmm,
absolutely. No, absolutely. As a matter of fact, that's why he's so hard up to protect his girl. You know,
mm-hmm.
that's why he's saying the things that he's saying about the matriarch and all of that. But of course, he has to follow and toe the line because he don't want to upset the wrath. But you know what I'm thinking, OG, is that once Kennedy is out of there, I think maybe, and I'm just only putting this out there, maybe Dave Filoni is just going with the status quo because, Kennedy's probably like keeping a little leash on him. So he got to say all the right things, but he knows what's going on. I mean, he's been around Favreau enough, so he probably knows what's going on. So maybe once Kennedy is finally out the door, he could freaking breathe and get back to the George Lucas era stuff. But then again, it's not going to erase all the other stuff that we know that in his head. But people are watching him now. People are literally watching him now. Now there's more voices that seen Dave, for the person that he is. He's still an opportunist. But hopefully once Kennedy is gone, maybe he'll calm some of that down, which I'm hoping, but not. We get right back on him.
I don't know. I think that he's given this has given him a chance to really see his true colors, and
Yeah.
so I haven't been a fan from him from the start. However, he did do some great episodes in the Clone Wars. I just don't like what he did to the lore. He was very nonchalant with the EU lore, so that means he's not going to pay attention to it now.
Especially with this, with the shit that he did with Legends, which hopefully Lucasfilm is trying to use that as the get out of jail free card. I'm just hoping that by Kennedy, being out of here, maybe. I said maybe. That was only my own thinking. Like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
the George Lucas era is gonna come back, so people gonna start adhering to that. Hopefully, But if Jon
Yeah.
Favreau runs the show, I have total confidence in how he'll bring George Lucas's era back to prominence.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's never gonna be George's stuff anymore. Even if they brought George in as a consultant, he's still got to go according to their lore, not what he wants, but their lore, what they're establishing. And so unless he owns the company right out and is the sole creator, where everybody he approves and has and is involved with the lore, like totally involved with it, like control of it, it's never going to be his anymore. And that's the thing, and that's what's sad about that. He could throw out some ideas and they may or may not go with it. That's the thing. But because he is the creator of Star Wars, if that was ever to happen, and they have that much respect in him, like they say, then
I know Jon Favreau does. That's why I want him to be in charge. I feel like Jon Favreau realizes that you made 3 films that pretty much wasted all the potential, wasted money, wasted partnerships with toys and distributors, all behind the ideology. And just the fact that if you could have somebody at the head of Lucasfilm that will have the maker by your side, that's almost like having Michelangelo next to you while you trying to do some painting. You need that. You need the master's voice in your ear.
Yeah, you're gonna. Okay, so I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, not whatsoever. You could still have the like your mentor by your side,
Yeah.
but you're never gonna produce what the mentor would produce. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. Like if I had Michelangelo by my side, or any one of them artists and stuff, and they were mentoring me and sculpted me as an artist,
Yeah.
I would still be given what is a part of me. You'll be seeing a part of me, not a part of them. Maybe you'll see some influence, and maybe that's what people want to see, is just the influence, and maybe that's what we're just only going to get, is the influence. But eventually you're going to see what the creative, what my image is with that art.
Okay. But at the very least, that Michelangelo's next to you and he's giving you the thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
likes what you do. Well, like I said, that's pretty much what I meant, more or less.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
yeah. Yeah.
I just want Jon Favreau to be in charge because I feel like he's the one that really gets it. Even
Yeah.
though he can't push it the way he can push it right now, I know he's biding his time. Something's going to happen next year that's going to change the face of everything. You
Yeah,
know?
and we'll see how that goes. And I kind of agree with Will Gentry as well. Don't want to pick a fight or anything, but we're never gonna get back to the Lucas way. Sorry, peeps, but Lucas involvement in Star Wars is over and done with. Yeah, so like I said, even if he comes in as a consultant, we are gonna probably get maybe a little bit of the essence, but we're never gonna get George Lucas's story, and that's the difference. And
Sad.
so,
But
are we in Stockholm syndrome right now, where we are going to be happy with just that little bit of the influence that George may do? My thing is that I'd rather have two separate timelines. One for the original lore, that's George Lucas's, the EU, all of that. Have it continued along with Disney Star Wars lore. Have that continued, or whatever they're going to do with it, whatever, so that we have both factions happy, and we have the original EU continued while we still have Disney making their own Star Wars, and so we have both factions happy. And I guess I'm relatively with Twin Suns on that. And some of you guys know who Twin Suns is, and they, from the very beginning, once the EU was scrapped, they started campaigning, and that group was formed, or that movement was formed about wanting the legends to be continued, seeing the Sword of the Jedi trilogy come out, and the games that were on hold and scrapped during the time of the buyout come back, and seeing continued lore in the original EU to and all that, while we see Disney Star Wars do their thing. And the reason why, and I am also with Matt Wilkins on this thought as well, is that we already know what it feels like to have our lore, what we love about Star Wars, scrapped and told it's not relevant anymore.
yeah.
We know how that feels. So why do we want that to impose that on people who love the Disney Star Wars? I get it though. Some of the lore or Luke Skywalker and all that was kind of, was basically bastardized, I guess you can say.
It was.
But the thing is, why do we want something that was done to us done to someone else with their
To be
lore?
honest, I'm not thinking about nobody else. I'm thinking about
Oh,
us.
you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm thinking about us. I mean, you know what? I'll just be happy if they get rid of the sequel trilogy, do the shit over and do it right, and then after that, I'm done. I'm done. Y'all can go right ahead, make Ahsoka babies and Darth Maul Jr. Y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want. Just as long as I get a sequel trilogy that's going to satisfy my palate for the 6 to the 9 films that at the very least will have George Lucas's influence on it, that he approves, that he gives the thumbs up, and then I'll be good. I'll be good. Everything else, y'all can go right ahead, have the ball. Knock yourself
And then so
out.
people have this in question is, okay, so if this happens and they retcon the sequel trilogy, are they going to redo the treatments that George gave them? And I have this to say, and I might not be popular with this, or maybe I'm kind of in the middle with everything, and that's what I'm sounding like. But when you look at it, George Lucas really didn't have intentions of a sequel trilogy. What he gave Disney was what maybe he would have done for a sequel trilogy. But when you go look back at the overall storytelling through the movies, he said that the happy ending was Return of the Jedi. Then he decided that he wanted to expand on the wheels of the Force, which goes into the scientific aspect of the Force.
Right, the midichlorians. I'm all for it because that's his story. As long as he's alive, and I tell people this all the damn time. Listen, as long as he's alive, he has a right to come back and do what he wants. This is his story, regardless of anybody's feelings or how he should have been ended it, whatever. That's why he left it open. If I want to go back and make more movies, then whatever that was y'all did before that would have to go. But they knew that with full knowledge, But at the time, like I said, he didn't have no intentions. Now he got up, he got the idea, he got the inspiration, And he said, yeah, maybe I want to do this. And, start writing the story treatments or whatever. And he gave it to Disney to think that they was going to, honor the agreement. But
Mm-hmm.
these clowns and butt licking and, and snakes in the grass, they took it, they threw it away, told JJ get the shareholders their money, and here we are. So I would want that in a heartbeat, whether it's the story treatments or whatever, because hate it or love it, the midichlorians is a part of the Star Wars lore. No matter what you do, what you think you want to do with that.
Yeah.
The whole history of the Journal of the Wills was in the damn Star Wars novel, excuse me, when it came out. And it had an introduction, for that. The Journal of the Wills. So that is literally canon. But whatever the people that they're trying to market it to that didn't work, and that's why this whole rumor mill about, deep sixing the sequel trilogy is out here in the ether. Doomcock said it. Midnight's Edge went with it. Now you got other, news outlets putting life into it. Star Wars Theory made a live stream behind it, And he's like, oh, it's not going to happen. How do you know? How do you know?
We
Everything is
don't
so fucking
know.
chaotic in Lucasfilm. How do you fucking know?
Yeah.
People are actually panicking in there. Panicking. They know they fucked up. They know them 18 to 25-year-olds wasn't spending no goddamn money. Nobody wasn't buying nothing. Nobody wasn't doing anything. And then the Fandom Menace, our community, came over here and swooped down on them like the plague. That's why J.J. Abrams said our name on live TV. And he said, you know what, I ain't want no parts of these people, because they was correct for the entire time. And all the other stuff is finally coming out the light. It's not an open secret shit. People in the Cameron Pasha actually said that these people in the industry, what do you think? They not leaking this shit out anonymously, just for shits and giggles? They know they want to say something, but they can't. That's why they got to give it to somebody else. Hey, you take this and y'all run with it. Don't say my name, but just run with it. They'll think it's a rumor, but I'm giving you actual facts. Y'all got to play the game with these people. Half of these people do not like what's going on. So come on. Roll with the EU. Roll with the George Lucas era. It is the best thing for you. And that's why we're here today.
Yeah, and the thing is too is that when you look at it, we are looking at when Star Wars was in an under independent studio influence, and that's George Lucas, versus corporate studio influence. So now we're looking at like even the shareholders and the investors and all of that are the investors basically are also influencing the story. So who are the original creators of the story when we have big corporate and we have these investors influencing Star Wars and all this other stuff? So I mean, can this reboot happen all the damn time if something doesn't work out? And that's my fear. That's the difference between independent studio and corporate studio.
Yeah.
That's my fear. And so Critches has a point, well, kind of has a point here, and I'll expand on that more. If the EU writers were answerable to Lucasfilm, I don't think I would trust them to uphold the EU standard as it currently states. We have a lot of novelists, a lot of authors that said that they would like to return and continue writing the stories that they written for George. And I would say this, let Leland Shee take him out of that story group, put him in the Legend story group. He knows that like the back of his hand, and have him continue to oversee Legend story group the way it's meant to be. That's how I see that could be done. Again, parallel timeline, and Disney Star Wars with whatever they need to do for their storytelling according to what's going to make the money, because they're corporate. And that's the thing, what's going to make the money is also influencing this.
I can't stand that, but
I know.
it just seems like it's as I said on the Dark Council, it's still a total disrespect to George. Yeah. You should have left well enough alone and followed the treasure trove of stories that the books and the EU stuff was already there for you. Now we got to play the bullshit games just so we can keep the young generation that's just as flighty as I don't know what. They're here today and they're gone tomorrow. You don't know what their mindset going to be in 10 years past. They're just jumping on this bandwagon because it was nice, and it's the Kathleen Kennedy social justice warrior bullshit that they love. That's the only reason they rocking with this. You ask them any questions, you talk about Darth Bane, Darth Xana, Darth Ruin, Darth Cockness. You know, the Nami Sunrider, you know, XR Kun. You tell them the names, they don't have a fucking clue who these people are. Exactly. So
So we
whatever.
have gospel according to Mark with a C. So Disney and Lucas Star Wars divorce. Which parents get Chewie and the Falcon?
Oh man. Well, you know what? I'll tell that whore of an ex-wife, you can keep your porgs. You take that shit and you can go about your business. I'm taking all the originals.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to where the heart is, back to the EU now. So basically, what I did here is I put up a picture of Darth Zana. So if you've read the Bane trilogy, you know exactly who this woman is right here. And
Yes.
and look at her, badass right there, badass. And that's all I have to say about that. And so we have Darth Bane, who basically is such a skilled dark side user turned Sith. And he gets trained, but he also sees that there is huge flaws in the Brotherhood of Darkness. And he also learns that from Darth Revan and the Holocron. And going back to the thought bomb, Will Gentry, he
Now I can't get that out of my head, the thought bomb.
yes,
Thanks,
I know,
Will.
I know. He comes in, bam, he like with all his puns and all his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And left, right, left, bam, knockout, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically ends up, he leaves the Brotherhood of Darkness order in a sense, but then he goes back. Darth Khan doesn't really trust him, but he gives him the information. He gives him the thought bomb, and they're in war with the Jedi on Rusan, and on that during that fight, we also see Lord Hoth, and so I put that in my video. And you guys, this is so evident. I'm just what planet was named after Lord Hoth.
Obviously. I love the fact that the novel itself, because the novel came out years after, he was the lead writer of the game, Knights of the Old Republic. And for those of us that have played Knights of the Old Republic, myself included, because I played it on Xbox, the first Xbox, and I went through it. The way that the game was structured was that, you was a person that just came into the order, and you're able to go off on this adventure to find Darth Malik, and basically you go through little flashbacks and stuff like that, but you're gaining power and you're gaining knowledge, and then by the time, spoiler alert for those that haven't played it, but it's been so old, you should know by now, the character that you inhabit or you played is actually Darth Revan.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time his amnesia comes, falls back, him and Darth Malik, used to be buddies and pals. But the way he set up the subsequential novels and the game aspect, especially in the newer version, which is called Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMORPG game that I'm playing, the writers took the author Drew Carpenter.
Yeah,
Carpenter. They took his ideas on how the Sith structure was during the time of Lord Khan and the rest of the Brotherhood. Everybody, the Academy was there to train young acolytes to be Sith warriors. Mm-hmm. Now, Darth Bane didn't start out that way. He basically came into his power through a botched card game that went bad, and he took out.
Even before that, because when he was fighting for his survival, when he was indentured minor, he did use the Force and
that's true. But the way how everything changed for him when he got into that card game fight, and the dude that was with him like, yo, you need to come with me. So he didn't know where he was.
Regretting what I just talked about before you came, but go on.
Oh, okay. All right. So so now he got down with a group called, he joined the Sith army, but he was a soldier. But nobody knew about his Latin abilities until somebody peeped him and said, well, damn, your whole group, which was the Gloom Walkers, y'all guys was doing roughshod. Y'all was doing assassinations, all that. I think you got a little talent, man. I actually peeped you, and Dez, aka Bane, was like, well, look, man, I'm here to serve. I don't know what's going on, blah blah blah. He said, well, yo, come on with me to the Sith Academy, man, and we might hook you up with a little something. So he went there, and as soon as he got in the door, people like, fuck is this?
Yeah, because he was so powerful.
Yeah, they felt it, but that's how that whole thing was. And Gitney was in the middle of it, but she kind of peeped Zane, but she wasn't really peeping him the way that she started peeping him later on. But Bane was just like, listen, man, whatever y'all guys want to teach me, I'm good with it. So they gave him a little bit of this, but they told him on the side, yo, you see homie over there? Yeah, don't trust that guy too much, man, because he a little snake. You see that one over there? Yeah, don't close your eyes too much on. They realized that it's a dog world in that building. Yeah, but he navigated through that like a boss. But he did, and I love how the book chronicled that he had his highs and then he had his real lows, and he had to go up and down the thing all the while, man, while Lord Khan was setting up the war with Jedi Lord Hoth and all the rest of the armies of the Jedi who call themselves the armies of the light. Bane was just trying to navigate to get his dark training on, but he had so many obstacles, which kind of furthered the overall view by the time the story ended, how he came to using the rule of two. He created it, and he created that shit for a reason.
Yeah, and what's so interesting about this, and I haven't had a chance to get to this, is that when Darth Bane was taken to Korriban for training, they made him, and I kind of touched bases on this a little bit earlier. They made him understand that those that are acolytes that are very strong in the dark side of the Force train to become masters on Korriban, and even I think Dathomir and Eridonia, and those who are not as adept go to like other academies of the Brotherhood of Darkness to train either to be warriors or soldiers and stuff. So
Droman Koss was one of them.
And he got sent straight to Korriban for training because of his ability to use the dark side of the Force.
Right.
Yeah, and so I thought that was very, very interesting because you have that fleshed out, and that kind of goes in with, when we see the Jedi Academy, you have certain factions that you're skilled in and that you're trained in, like the Consular, the Guardian, and the Sentinels kind of deal, and so that kind of goes with that. And then they have sub factions to where if your abilities are not as strong to be in those factions, then you are like going to different corps of the Jedi. Not corps, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And Darth Bane was basically a Jedi Sentinel. His brutish strength, his raw power. He was born to be a Sentinel. He only had some of the Sith acolytes, have double bladed lightsabers, all types of esoteric weapons. Bane just had that one. And he, he trained with the Blade Master, which he had an absolute, respect for in terms of his abilities and his philosophy. As a matter of fact, the Blade Master was the only one really that Bane kind of trusted, that he could actually let himself be himself. After that, he was basically on guard with everything. How he moved, even his master was giving him all types of bullshit. If you don't really step it up, Bane, I don't know, man. You might have to get replaced. Even talking, his own master was giving him up.
But they do that to every single Sith because they want them to push their way up. They want them to really push their way up and be ruthless, and that's a part, and that's the passion. They want them to have that passion, and that's a Sith thing. They want them to have that passion.
Rini says, Darth Bane song, please. Unfortunately, I don't have anything.
It's not even prepared. I just drug it.
Right. She dragged me in like out of the blue. I was just going to have my little breakfast and, take care of some other business. And she said, hey, why don't you come on in and talk about Darth Bane? And I was like, how could I refuse the queen? I'm going to do it. Shoot. But I will have something for you guys at some point, probably at the next Dark Council anyway. So,
Will Gentry, guys, breaking news: Brie Larson has made a YouTube channel.
Hooray! But Lethal Lightning is overjoyed. I've been told him.
I've seen that.
Brie Larson on YouTube. Brent said, listen, if Brie Larson ain't showing me some titties, I ain't got no interest in it. Not a one. Not a one. What's she gonna tell me? More Captain Marvel stories of how she beat men to death and emasculated Spider-Man? No, thank you.
Yeah, and if you guys watched my video that I did on Darth Bane, I really cut into character for the beginning of my video, so go check it out. I didn't clip it to put on so I could share it here, so
What?
go check it out. You know what I'm talking about when I talked about the rule of two.
Oh yeah. Ooh, just watching that video just give me the just made me in my feels. I was
Yeah,
like,
so
can
I
I be
got
your?
into
I wanted to
character.
be your apprentice. I want to be your apprentice.
Maybe
I know
I'll
I'll be.
flip it and put it on Twitter so you guys could check it out. But I don't want to do it just yet because that's part of the opening of the video lore review that I did.
Oh well, you picked the perfect one.
Mm-hmm.
That was the perfect clip.
Yeah, and so basically, we're just once we have the Githany. Remember Githany though, and she was a Jedi, and then she turned Sith, and she's the one that Lord Khan sends to seduce Bane and poison him. Remember that?
Yeah, but before that, she was peeping him. But Gitney really didn't put any credence in Bane until he really started laying down on some of the other acolytes. It's basically when you're going up the ladder, $150 to breathe a smile. I wish.
Hold on. Okay,
wish.
we're not going to go tread down that. We're not talking about that. No, but yeah,
But Gitney, but like I said, Gitney really wasn't feeling him until he started having because he ran into an acolyte that basically told Bane, "Listen, man, you a fraud. All right, you want to go against me? I'll whoop that ass all day." Now, and the other acolyte's like, "Ooh." So Bane had to step it up. He's like, "All right, well, we're gonna see what we gonna do when we get it cracking." He said, "Yeah, bitch, we all gonna see what we got." Now, Gitney on the side, peeping it, like, "All right, let's see what Bane can do." So she felt his raw power. But he was not skilled enough to go against that other acolyte, and the other acolyte put it.
Oh, the Aridonian, huh? The Aridonian that kicks
put it
his
on
ass.
him.
Yes.
But Gitney, for some reason, even in Bane's defeat, she felt something in him, like his spirit, his indomitable spirit. He got his ass whooped, but
But she still poisons him. That's the thing. She's like, "Oh yes,
she had a thing for him. She did. She had a serious thing for him after he came back, and then he put it on the Endorian's ass. But it took him 2 tries, though. It took him 2 tries, and Bane kept practicing. That was something that Gitney was kind of drawn to. The way his absolute for a better word, why did I say his concentration? Yeah. His concentration on making himself better each and every time he went up against that kid. And now when he finally got at him, defeated him, and everybody that was watching, like, I'm rolling with him. And then when everybody started rolling with him, Gitney was like, let me get up in there, and got up all in him. And Bane had a little thing for Gitney too.
Oh yeah, there was something there.
Yeah.
And I find this very fascinating with the Sith, because when you get into the Lost Tribe of the Sith, and you get into like Fate of the Jedi, when we get into Vistara and that culture of the Sith, they use their passion and their love to get what they want.
That was Gitney all the way. Bane couldn't really pick up on it the way he wanted to, because he was caught in that, and even Gitney towards the end, because Khan made it very clear. Listen, Bane is getting up there, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, she is. Oh my God. Just like some people I know, such a tease. You just flash the hair a little bit and put the smile on there, and I'm like, I'm so happy. And then she just walks away, and it's like, what happened? And now you gotta wait for her to come back and put you all in your feel. Yep, that's exactly what Gitney is. But she did that to great effect. because even though she was
She's
feeling
a
Bane,
Sith.
she still was Sith. She had her own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But towards the end, though, that she actually wavered on that. But unfortunately, Bane peeped it.
She had to do what she needed to do to be a Sith. That's the thing. She did what she needed to do to, please the masters and become a Sith. And that's at the end of the story. No matter what was going on in that relationship, she did what was right for her.
Yeah, but Bane, as he was growing in the Force, and then his master was sitting up there like, "Oh, listen," he was telling Khan, he was like, "Listen, man, my student is a little bit rambunctious. He's talking wild shit right here. Well, what is he talking about? Well, I don't know. He's talking about why we got so many acolytes, and these guys are weak. Why are we even dealing with them? It's our fucking academy, man. What do you want me to do?" Oh, well, listen. Just calm your boy down a little bit. Listen, we need all the help we can get. I'm fighting Lord Hoth. I'm going in it with. Let's just raise him up because he's powerful, man. So don't totally dismiss him. Oh, all right, Lord Khan. I don't know. So he goes back and he talks to Bane, and Bane's sitting up here like, "Listen, I'm learning. I'm learning your knowledge. I'm learning what you're giving me. But these guys, man, they're a bunch of punks, man. I already slapped up the Endorian. Everybody else is sucking on my toes. They praising me left and right. And even though I can feel them in the Force, man, they still scheming. So why don't we just get rid of them and just let the strongest survive? Because Bane, this is Lord Khan's army, and we don't do anything like that. Well, I have been reading in the little library here that there used to be a thing called the Darth. You know what that's about? Then he started panicking. He was like, what is it? Can you tell me what it is? He didn't want to deal with it. He's like, you know what, Bane? Throw that shit out. I don't want you to talk about no Darth. We don't use that no more.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't want to use it anymore, and because of
he got scared. He really got scared when he mentioned that word.
Did. And because of the fact of that, and also with Bane training through the holocron of Darth Revan, he was like, I am going to reestablish the Darth title. So he basically took back the legacy of the Sith in that title, but then recreated it because of the infighting that was going on.
The only reason he went and did that was that his master was just listening like, "Babe, we're not dealing with this shit no more." And he literally had to try to have him set up. He literally his own master had him set up.
Exactly.
Bane's like, "Listen, dude, all I wanted to know what the fuck was this about? Why did you try to kill me?" Then they tossed him out. But all the while he kept that manuscript. He's like, "Well, listen, I gotta learn some more about this because some of this shit makes sense." So he wandered. He got the Korriban. And was going through. Did he go into the tombs? I can't remember.
It is said that he got the holocron from Lahan, but
I thought it was I know he discovered some of the tomb. No, he did. He did go to the Valley of the Dark Lords. He went to the sarcophagus of all the dead Sith Lords from way back. Ajunta Paul, Sozu San, all the greats. Frida Nod, Nagasadu, Ludo Krish, all the greatest. He did getting their knowledge and trying to get their wisdom together. But when he found Darth Revan, and like I said, he's the man that created Darth Revan, so it kind of made sense. The Darth Revan holocron basically was short and sweet, but it did give Bane the insight he needed from all of his dealings within the Academy. And that's why Darth Revan said, and he literally prophesied, not even prophesied, but he did explain that the dark side is the greatest, but at the same time, it's really not good. But in the end, you do see where when your power is concentrated into one being, you ain't gonna have all the issues and bullshit that you gotta deal with a whole bunch of people thinking the same thing about you. So concentrate on yourself and then pass that on. But remember, the same thing that makes us great is the same thing that's gonna fuck us over in the end. Just so that you know. But besides all of that, go for the gusto, young man.
Yeah, and so this novel, the Path of Destruction, basically is that, because we see the Path of Destruction that was that led Bane to who he is and led us to the rule of two. So here's the Sith code here. So peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. And so they really believe that, because they believe that the Jedi chain themselves up to their ideological beliefs and stuff. And so they're like, we're going to break those chains. And that's what their philosophy was at that time, and also carried into the future that we know of Star Wars as. And they always thought that the Jedi were very limited into their knowledge and into their philosophy. Yes. So that was a great thing right there with that. So the next book coming up is the Rule of Two, and so I'm very excited to give you guys that in the lore review videos and stuff. So let's go ahead and check out this funny ass article. I'm going to go ahead and check out your guys's chats here. The Force shall set me free. Exactly. The Rule of Two was born. Exactly, it was born, and I love the story arc here. I love how it refers back to Revan and the past Sith alchemy and culture as well. So, and that's what is great about Star Wars. That's why we have. That's why there's a lot of us who grew up within the EU lore as well. We're very disheartened with the fact that it was done away and casted away and being reinvented. And some, with and what was insulting or is insulting, and also a slap in the face, is that they're like, oh, that's no longer, valid for the lore anymore. But hey, let's go ahead and sprinkle in Thrawn here. Or, with the Mandalorian, give hints that, his backstory is just like Jango Fett's. That's a slap in the face. That's how I see it. It's a slap in the face. So
now I'm reading Darth Revan's words to Bane now. It's deep. It is extremely deep.
Yeah.
Those who accept the power of the dark side must also accept the challenge of holding on to it. That's what Bane had to deal with his entire time when he trained. Its very nature, the dark side invites rivalry and strife. This is the greatest strength of the Sith, as it culls the weak from our order. Yet this rivalry can be our greatest weakness. The strong must be careful lest they be overwhelmed by the ambitions of those beneath them working in concert. Any master who instructs more than one apprentice in the ways of the dark side is a fool. In time, the apprentices will unite their strength, which happened in Darth Bane's time at the Academy. Everything that the Holocron said, he dealt with it in the Academy. Now, by the time we get to the Rule of Two, he literally has his own apprentice, and he has to literally keep in mind what Darth Revan said in terms of training and using the power. Star Wars reveals how Jedi block for. What? Wait a minute. That's an article?
Yes, this is what we're going to laugh about right now. This is going to be the fun part. This is so we already know what's established in the lore before Disney Star Wars started recreating the lore. How Jedi block Force lightning.
Look at Palpatine looking like, please don't take pictures of me. I didn't really want to be in this film.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I didn't read this all the way through, so we're probably just gonna get through some of it, and then we'll talk about this. So I thought this was funny that we can have a good laugh, because we already know that Form 5 and other forms help a Jedi block like bolts and even Force lightning and stuff, but it's part of training. Like when you've seen Luke Skywalker in the Return of the Jedi, and he's like declaring himself as a Jedi, and then says, I don't want to fight, because if I continue to fight, I will go turn Sith, basically. And so that's why he tosses his saber down. That was the root of that. He wasn't saying fuck the Jedi like he did before in the new lore or and stuff like that. So we have this article here. So, but the point that I was getting at is that because he did that, and he didn't have like full formal training like we see established in the PT, the prequel
Yeah.
trilogy, he didn't know to keep his lightsaber. He didn't know about Force lightning.
Right.
So that was kind of, a mistake there that happened. But when we get into, the PT and into the EU, we learn that, sabers can block and revert Force lightning as well. So Star Wars has finally answered one of the questions of the ages: just how exactly can a Jedi Master block Force lightning with a lightsaber? All
Well,
right.
Mace Windu did it, so
I know, right? But the thing is dude, there's no source material. Remember, they tossed
right.
it and said there's no source material. So they're acting like they're making something new again, and it's not
Yeah.
new. And Star Wars has revealed how the Jedi can block Force lightning with a lightsaber. Really, really. The Star Wars movies have consistently shown Force lightning as the most powerful weapon in a Sith Lord's Force arsenal. This was particularly notable in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. No, it was particularly notable in Revenge of the Sith. All right, when Palpatine unleashed the Force storm that threatened to destroy the entire Resistant fleet. Well, you kind of see that in the EU with Dark Empire as well. So that's nothing new. Again, assumingly, the Force lightning also appears to be Palpatine's greatest weakness. You know what? Seeing what happened to him in Return of the Jedi, it wasn't his weakness. His power and control and thirst was his weakness, because he was so consumed on trying to destroy one of the Skywalkers, either replace Vader and destroy him with Luke or whatever. And he's not getting his way. So it was the power, the passion, all of that was basically his weakness. Not the Force lightning. He just didn't stop with the Force lightning during that time because he was too consumed with wanting that power, consumed with the anger, that he got pulled. His guard was, he wasn't on his guard, and so what Vader did to him surprised the hell out of him. That was his response still. And I don't think that they got the gist of what was going on during that time. Vader basically attacked him, caught him off guard, attacked him, or basically grabbed him, threw him down the shaft. He had no time to react. But then the lightning was also reverted back down into Vader because, of course, we know with his mechanics, he wouldn't be able to stand the lightning because of,
and he was already wounded, from the fight with Luke. So yeah, and the day I said it, in his mind, Anakin, finally seeing the light, he was already tired. He was already the confliction that he kept going back and forth with seeing his son alive, telling him to come back to the light. Not Palpatine, Darth Sidious, kept goading him to keep fighting. And then by the time, he'd been betrayed by the Dark Lord once again by telling his own son to kill him and join him. So everything that Anakin had sacrificed, did throughout the self-hate, the self-loathing, thinking that he killed his own wife and then find out that it didn't happen. So he was already tired, threw Darth Sidious down the shaft, knowing that he was just done for. But at the very least, he fulfilled the prophecy that brought the Force back into balance.
Yeah, so basically this, like I said, this is something to laugh and giggle at because we already know what.
This article obviously didn't watch the movies. That
exactly, never really even knows it well. The EU. So releasing this destructive power seems to be almost an addictive experience to the Emperor. No, it wasn't really, because we rarely see him use it at all.
And he knows how to use a lightsaber. He's been trained. Like I said, he's a Sith Lord. You got to train in the dark side, which means you're going to have dark side powers. You're going to have the training in the lightsaber. There's other dark side abilities that some of the Sith Lords either had an affinity for or they didn't. Everybody was different. Not every Sith Lord was the same. That's why Darth Zana, was extremely gifted in Sith sorcery. And Darth Bane encouraged her to follow that because he wasn't efficient with it. He
Yeah,
knew about it.
exactly.
He learned about it, but that never was his thing. So basically, Darth Bane is a Jedi Sentinel, and Darth Zana is pretty much a dark side Inquisitor.
Mhm.
And I'm talking about that for those who played the video games,
Yeah.
the Knight of the Republic and the Star Wars Old Republic video PC MMORPG game that I still play. My Sith Inquisitor uses the double bladed lightsaber, but he or she is proficient in Sith sorcery and alchemy.
Yeah.
So different strengths, different abilities, but they all serve the same purpose.
Exactly. And so it goes on to say that, in episode 3, Mace Windu deflects Palpatine's Force lightning right back at him, causing serious damage in his body. Rey ultimately defeated Palpatine once and for all by blast. Again, you see that once and for all because Anakin didn't defeat him, according to that. For all by blasting the power back at him once again, using two lightsabers to deadly effect. Two lightsabers will only reflect it just the same as one lightsaber. That's how I see it. It's not going to enhance, it's not going to make the Force lightning being deflected any more potent than it with one lightsaber.
But they're saying that just to make Super Rey that much more special because she had two lightsabers and gave her double the power and gave her double the ability.
Because they have to outdo what Mace Windu did, right? Because
Yeah, I got
he
to.
was the badass at the time. Just how did these Jedi turn the Force lightning against the Emperor with such apparent ease? Okay, so this is the question that they want to expand on. So let's get into it. The latest Star Wars reference book, Secrets of the Jedi, lifts the lid on this. Just go back to the EU and learn about it there. That's the original lore of it, in my opinion. But again, that's basically official opinion.
Okay.
Fact, I guess you could say fact. It turns out it isn't quite as so easy as it seems. Rather, this is a skill that only the most potent Jedi masters. Again, this is the skill only the
Rey didn't have no problem doing that.
Jedi masters can pull off. Again, only the most potent Jedi's masters could pull off.
I swear my brain cells is being killed by reading this article, but go on.
The book is this is a laugh. I'm laughing at this because I know the lore and stuff. So this is just makes me laugh because no source materials. The
Of
book
course.
is supposedly compiled from the journals of Luke Skywalker, collected shortly before his death in the Star Wars The Last Jedi, and in a section devoted to a lightsaber's defensive capability, Luke explains. Okay, so first of all, where in the lore, in Disney lore, did Luke Skywalker ever have to deflect Force lightning? To even write that down as an experience.
Definitely not in the movies.
Where in the lore has he experienced that? We know in the EU where he's experienced it. We know that. And so what part of the timeline did he start giving up and on the Jedi? And then when he created the Order again, that fell over a family stupid ass dispute because he wanted to kill his nephew. Where did he learn that, and why didn't he teach his students that so that they could survive? I mean, all this wisdom that we're getting that Luke created in these journals to give back, why wasn't his academy successful then? Because apparently Rey is now successful because of them. So
the academy was destroyed when Emo Kylo went berserk. But then again, Emo Kylo should have learned that same ability, more or less. He was a student of the academy.
Where my mind is like, what the heck is going on here? So if she learned all these from his journals that he left, then shouldn't his academy have been successful? Think about it. Think about that.
So you know who we have to ask? We have to ask Rian Johnson. What in the actual blue hell can you tell me of about this Jedi Academy that you razed to the ground and had sad Jake Skywalker on his knees crying, no! And then he goes into the hut and try to murder his nephew in his sleep. Can you tell me what the hell was going on? No, nobody can tell us that. So you know what? We're left to our own devices to, how should we say, pick and choose.
I am left with the original EU, but my thing is, like, for those who truly love the Disney lore and it's following this and, you know, dedicated to it, more power to you. I mean, that's your choice. I'm that's all I'm gonna say. And I respect your choice, you know, especially those ones that love the Disney Star Wars but does not come back and talk shit to us about what we love about Star Wars. I really respect those individuals, and that's why I'm talking about those individuals. And I know a few of them, even in my family, who love Disney Star Wars but still respects the overall lore. And we do question.
Well, that's a rare thing.
Yeah, and we do talk about like the potential Kylo Ren could have been, and Ben Solo. We do talk about the potential Finn could have been, and all of that. And you know, because there's a lot of potential that was thrown out after the Force Awakens, and you know, and that's all I'm going to expand on with that. So let's go on with the article. So the blade of the lightsaber can this. Okay, so this is going to be funny. You guys might laugh at this. The blade of the lightsaber can be used to block attacks from other lightsabers or repel incoming blaster fire. Basically, Form 5.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, no. So so they're probably going to call it something else. But when you look into like the Jedi Path and Jedi versus Sith information books, that's Form 5, one of the forms that you learn to reflect or deflect, blaster fire.
The blaster fire, that's Sorensu.
Yeah, that's the name of it, but it's also Form 5.
Yeah, that's Sorensu. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Shein. No, that's Shein and Demzo.
Oh, that's it too? I thought Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought it was Sorensu.
And it probably goes in like it probably could be used in other factions as well, but that's basically the root of that.
All right.
Yeah, in the hands of a skilled lightsaber, a lightsaber blade can also be used to redirect the barrage of blast right back at the enemy who fired them. Seasoned Jedi can even use their lightsabers to block attacks of Force lightning generated by Sith Lords or dark side users, if you know the lore. According to Luke Skywalker, there is a sense of progression to this. Only the most seasoned and capable Jedi Masters can deflect Force lightning. Again, only the most seasoned and capable Jedi Masters can deflect Force lightning. And there was such a thing as training. Do you remember that? There was such a thing as training to
so it seems so long ago.
The Padawan couldn't do that yet because they were still learning, their skill in lightsaber combat and their skills with the Force and honing in the strength of.
Well, that shit went right out the window when Mary Sue Ray was throwing off Sith lightning through her fingertips. So why in the world would we need somebody to be seasonally trained to deflect Force lightning when your own protagonist can use Force lightning from her fingertips and can, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and in the lore they have the Force lightning that Jedi use that is not as powerful as strong, and it's called the Judgment, the Force or something Judgment. I can't think of it, but it's basically a greenish color and not very used as much, and we do see Luke Skywalker and I think even Mara Jade and use it as well as other practitioners. Okay. Yeah, but basically they frown upon it because you still like teeter into the dark side a little bit, or it can make you go towards that direction.
Yeah, they did mention that's a
Force
dangerous
judgment. There we go, Force judgment. Yeah,
that's a dangerous skill to learn, and the Jedi's pretty much frown upon anybody learning to use that technique, Force lightning. But I know one of the Jedi Masters in the High Council was able to use that ability, but even he frowned on teaching this to any of his students. And he said there was some reason why he was the one that learned it, but I forgot what it was. But he guarded that particular technique from any students in there because it's just as you said, it does teeter if you're not strong enough, put you on the brink of the dark side.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's an ability that only the very strongest Jedi is capable of using, and that's why we've seen Luke use
Yep.
it, but it was very, very, very sparingly. And so the feat is properly all the rare because Jedi don't normally train for combat against Force lightning. If they train in like with any of the forms, especially Form 5, and deflecting blaster bolts and stuff like that, then that is something that they train with. So again, what was Luke training the Jedi at his new academy in the new lore? So how was he training them? Because obviously they weren't successful on on guarding it and protecting the Jedi Order from being
The burning of the
disrupted.
academy was proof of that.
Yeah,
Oh God, this. No, nobody. So I guess everybody at Lucasfilm just pretty much said, you know what? Let's just wing this shit. We got a Jedi Master. We have a Jedi Academy. You know, prop it up. That's that. Nobody goes into any type of knowledge
no.
and seeing the lore and using that to great effect. They just prop stuff up and just went with the flow because obviously, you know, as you said, none of the students was able to fight off and deal with the First Order. Emo Kylo came in and just rough shot. What happened with Luke by himself should have taken out half of the forces that was sent out there to take his academy. So what the hell happened? You know?
Yeah,
But
and the thing is, if you remember, in the beginning when they started creating the character Rey, their explanation is that they didn't want Luke to foreshadow her or overshadow her, and then we go into progression of their dislike of Luke within the company, I guess you can say, and we have the red X over his face, and all that. So there's that progression that I'm like thinking, okay, so this is the direction they're taking him to make sure that she is better. And I think that's what turned off a lot of fans in the first place. I don't think, I know. So it would have to be figured out. Okay, so again, let me see where I got. Okay. So, they trained against, it's not something normally trained for combat against the lightning, so it would have to be figured out on the spot. On the spot. It's likely
good old Rey, she's always there at the right time.
Yeah, and figures things out, like how to do it just right then and there. It's likely a Jedi needs to be as familiar with the dark side as with the light in order to pull it off. Not necessarily. No, you just have to, be there and sense that this Force lightning is going to happen. And with the Force, if you're open to the Force and you're fighting someone that's a Sith or dark side user, and you can sense the danger sense can give you that feeling that that's going to happen, and then the Force is going to guide your hand to block with your saber the Force lightning or the bolts. So is it like saying, okay, so someone's shooting a blaster at me, do I have to know that person, or if they're a smuggler, do I have to know how to be a smuggler in order for me to deflect their blaster bolts? I mean, really, this is nonsense.
Yeah.
In the sequel trilogy, Mace Windu's unique purple blade symbolized how close he trod to the dark side.
This is how you know the writer don't know what the fuck he doing. Not in the sequel trilogy, you idiot. The prequel trilogy.
Exactly.
So he was just, you know what? I'm just typing this shit. Let me just get it all out and let them. Yeah, exactly. Come on, man.
Yeah.
God Almighty.
Okay, so but then another thing is that Mace Windu's lightsaber does not indicate that he basically is both on the light side and dark side of the Force. It doesn't mean that. It never meant that in the lore. Really, it never did. Because we have a few people who have purple lightsabers. We have Mara Jade. We have Mace Windu. We have Jaina Solo, the Sword of the Jedi, who basically stayed in the light. She teetered in the dark side in the New Jedi Order, yes, because of what was happening with her family, losing her brothers and stuff. But that's it. So this does not, the color of your saber does not indicate your stance in the Force. If you know the lore, The Sith chose to use the red blade because it distinguished them between the Jedi. And that was just something that was just a tradition that was kept.
Right.
It didn't mean, yeah, because when you get into the lore, you know, when Luke creates one of a saber for Leia, it's red. When Luke creates his little Shoto saber to fight against Lumaya and her whip, it's red. That does not mean anything. It doesn't mean that there are in the middle. There's no such thing as in the middle. So this was emphasized even more in Matt Stover's excellent novelization, Revenge of the Sith.
Rey, well, you got that right.
Rey, meanwhile, appears to stand as an agent of balance. Oh, Lord, here we go. Aware of her own inner darkness, and you know what, everybody, and then when you look into the lore again, I'm going to go back. Even Luke, Luke will say, you do have, a dark side and a light side within you. It's how you use it, You want to be on the light side. You don't want to tether to the dark side. I know
that's exactly what not happened in the fucking movie. Agent of balance, aware of her inner darkness. The bitch. All right, let me just calm down.
Yeah, breathe.
Rey was not doing anything special during that time she used Force lightning. She was mad that the ship was leaving. Finn said, "Chewie's there," and then Rey tried to hold the ship. She didn't have no Zen moment aware of the balance and the darkness. No, Finn said, "There go Chewie, get him!" She tried to pull the thing back, and then the Sith lightning came out. Yeah. So whoever wrote this article, you really, really need it. Why don't you start watching your sequel trilogy then? You don't watch nothing. You're just throwing shit out there, just hoping that it will stick. Well, congratulations.
In the sequel trilogy, because Mace was in there, of course, whatever.
No, this person made us all stupid by reading this nonsense.
That's why I said this is going to be a laugh. This is going to be a laugh.
It's hurting my head, actually, but okay.
You're like, it's not a laugh.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and so basically that's what we're just going to end here. Wait, okay, let's read The Secrets of the Jedi. It does provide a subtle hint why a lightsaber can be used to effectively against Force lightning. As Luke notes, a lightsaber generates an electrical charge. Well, duh, we already know it's plasma. We know it's plasma. We know there's a focusing crystal. We know that there's energy that creates the light and the plasma and for it to come out. We already know that.
Obviously, the person writing it wants us to understand it generates an electrical charge.
This is all new because, of course, it's, there was no source material before then. He notes, when a Jedi becomes attuned with the Force, their thoughts and actions all become part of the same flow of energy. And that's where we go into the saber thing. So basically, you're supposed to bond with your saber according to this now. And so why in the hell would
bonding?
This saber...
Like take it in the bathroom with you, or wash in the shower with it, or when you're making love to your Jedi wife, you have this lightsaber in hand, all of y'all bonding with it. What the hell are you talking about? It is your weapon, it is your life, but you don't bond with it like you're having conversations. Do you love me? I love you. That's what I do.
Yeah, and the thing is that, when, according to this new lore, from my understanding, it's kind of like a bond. But then when you look at it, why in the hell is a Skywalker saber bonding with Rey? She's a Palpatine.
Lord have mercy.
Okay, so anyways, in the lore, it said that the lightsaber is the extension of their being, and that even goes with the Sith. You even get that in Darth Bane. The
right.
lightsaber is the extension of their force, of their being, of who they are, and that, and that's it. So maybe that's where they're getting the bond thing from, and turn it in a different way. I don't know. So thus, when a lightsaber blade catches Force lightning, the electrical powers is absorbed into its own current. If this interpretation is correct, Mace Windu and Rey aren't technically deflecting the Force lightning back at Palpatine. Rather, their lightsabers are absorbing it, and they are then discharging it. Oh, no, it's deflecting. Do they understand what deflecting means? It's not like it's charging.
Just putting Ray and
It's-
just putting Ray and Mace Windu in the same sentence is really pissing me off. Please continue.
That's how you were like over there getting heated.
Yeah,
You're like,
please continue. You put Mace Windu, Mace freaking Windu, and Ray in the same sentence, like they on par with each other. Oh God, please, somebody just shoot me down. Just put me out my misery with this article. God Almighty.
Well, we got a little bit more to go. And
Why are you torturing me, OG? This is harsh. This is just harsh. Fucking bullshit. That's almost like saying Mickey Mouse and Luke Skywalker was training at the Korriban Academy, and both of their powers was supposed to say, please get this article over with. God, I can't deal with this shit. I'm becoming more stupid just looking at this thing on the screen.
we're almost done.
Oh, we're almost there, sweet God. I hope everybody in the chat is still with us.
Kind of Sith-like lately, so enjoy my Sith-like abilities here.
I need a drink.
This explains why the Emperor was unable to stop his Force lightning attack. He no longer had control of the flow of energy. So the lightsaber absorbing the energy makes him lose control. Think about that now. It also means Rey really is demonstrating great skills in the Force. Blocks the attack with 2 blades rather than 1. She's in. Okay, do you get this now? She's greater than Mace. Do you get that now?
Yeah. She's demonstrating great skill in the Force. I mean, they are really pouring this thing. Why couldn't you just say, well, Rey, it's demonstrating what she does. No, demonstrating great skill when she blocks the attack with 2 blades. Now they had to emphasize that she. Oh, jeez. No.
She is intimately bonded to both blades. See, I told you.
And everybody in the chat, when a woman is intimately bonded with a metal object, you know what happens there. That's why Emo Kylo got the kiss of gratitude. She don't need a man. She got her bonded lightsaber. Wink, wink. She's intimately bonded to, and she demonstrates great skill. Read between the lines, ladies and gentlemen. She don't need a man, never have, never will. She's more powerful than Mace Windu. And she deflected Force lightning with not 1, but 2 lightsabers. And she made certain that the big bad old man Palpatine, Papa Palpatine, was dealt the death blow where nobody else was there helping her, but like they said that I am all the Sith, I am all the Jedi, I am all tired of this bullshit.
Did you notice that though? And I'm pretty sure that the chat loved me torturing you with this article. This was funnier than hell.
Oh, so you did this on purpose?
No, I didn't know. I didn't. I invited you last minute, but I knew I was going to do this to make everybody laugh.
I was about to say, what the hell did I do to you to subject me to this nonsense?
My eyes are turning yellow. You don't see it, but my eyes are turning yellow.
Oh, okay.
No. Like I'm feeling very Sith-like. But the thing is that we have Critches here bonded. Forget that Obi-Wan was using a borrowed lightsaber when he deflected Dooku's lightning in episode 2. But then you got to think, okay, so all the lightsabers that Grievous collected are they bonded to him even though he's not a Force user?
He's not even a human.
Yeah, he's an
machine.
And turned machine. Yes.
Well, according to this article, Rey was intimately bonded intimately with love and lust together.
And then Yoda absorbed it, yes. And so that's the thing there is that he absorbed it, and then he didn't
even need a lightsaber. He said, much
He's
to
like,
learn.
check out my little badass self.
Yeah.
Yes.
He didn't even need a damn lightsaber. Bonding with it, touching it, licking it. He didn't do none of that. He just took his hands, said, much to learn. You still have. That's why Count Dooku was like, holy shit. All right, well, let's do the lightsaber thing. And even then, that wasn't working. It's like, all right, I got to go. Ray,
Exactly.
good old God Almighty. Whoever wrote this article need to be taken in the woodshed. Bring him to the wood chipper. Have him shot.
Uh-huh.
This is just. But this is the propaganda. What is this article from? ScreenRant?
Yes, it is. And that's why I said we're going to have a good laugh. So let me tell you who wrote this because I didn't say it in the beginning. And this is by
If it's a
Thomas
woman, I'ma
Bacon.
die.
No, Thomas Bacon, and he's written
What?
and he's written other articles for, regarding Star Wars and stuff. Because I've read on Coffee Chat other articles from him regarding Star Wars. So what he is doing is reflecting what the company wrote about the Jedi and training according to Luke that that are in the journals that Ray took. So
Right.
basically, he's showing the idiocy that's going on with figuring out what the lore is pertaining to Jedi training.
Subhuman had it right all along. Lucasfilm must really think we're stupid or something. Exactly, brother.
Exactly.
Exactly. Ain't pulling the wool out on us. Fuck that. Using big words to look intelligent. Not when they talking about intimately bonding with your lightsaber, and how Mace Windu could do it with all the training and everything else, and he trained other Jedi's to become masters. Here comes skinny ass Ray. Now all of a sudden she got the same powers that he has, because that's basically what this article is talking about. Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, so I thought this was again something to laugh at, especially if you know the lore or even just have an inkling of sense to know that what's really going on, and that it just takes normal lightsaber practice,
Good
and
laugh.
skill and ability to be able to deflect bolts and lightning.
Oh my
And
God.
and nothing else. It doesn't mean that you have to buy the sabers. It doesn't mean that two sabers will make it impossible, or the first lightning user to lose control. It doesn't mean anything like that. Now, we see Palpatine in control still when Mace was deflecting that force lightning back at him, because he goes unlimited power. You remember that? And then he shoots the force lightning at Mace,
Right.
and then a part of his plan is that he wanted Anakin to choose his side. And so he's like, I'm getting weak. I'm feeling weak. That was an act. That was an act to
Of course, it
further
was an act.
Anakin.
He knew that because he felt Anakin's presence. He knew
'Cause he
Anakin was
smiled.
right.
He smiled and he's like, oh shit, here we go. I got control of this shit, because Palpatine was brilliant. He was in total control from start to finish, even with this force lightning going on. He was in control. This takes away from him being badass.
Lord have mercy.
This takes away his brilliance in the PT. That's how I see it.
Thomas Bacon. Ugh. Even the name is suspect.
Bacon.
So you gave this all to have a laugh. Well, hardy fucking har. I really
Hardy
enjoyed
fucking
it. Ha ha ha. Okay.
Yeah, it picks up and then threw out the window.
threw him
Yes,
out the window.
he even literally still had control and picks him up and throws him out. There was nothing lost. And another saber is not going to make him lose control. All it is basically a laser sword.
Right.
Basically, if you want to get into the little, insulting little acronym thing that people try to use against us about Star Wars, it's a laser sword made, moving with laser swords made for kids. Yeah, and so that the sabers,
Like the little voice you put in there. That was cute.
yeah, but the little thing, the sabers weren't that significant at all. It was just an extension of a Sith or a Jedi.
Right.
That's all. Before the laser sword was made, they were fighting with regular swords.
Okay.
Think about that. When you go back into the history in the Old Republic, like in the early years of the Old Republic and Dawn of the Jedi, if you go back and search up Jedi history in the original EU, their first swords were basically metal. Then it progressed to the ones we see now, the laser swords, basically. If you want to use that word. Yeah. So there was nothing significant about them other than that they were very unique. And that once they started constructing the lightsabers, that you had to use the Force to do it. Because if you look into the history of when Luke Skywalker made his lightsaber, You had to use the Force to place everything in place and make sure everything's attuned. Because if you do anything wrong, the sword can blow up on you.
TJ Swan said Rey used a Jedi mind trick when she didn't even know it existed. Yep, that's how powerful she is. She do shit without even knowing, and she does it better than everybody else. Thanks, Ryan.
Palpatine was feeding on his own pain when he had his lightning being reflected on him. That's exactly, and I think that's one thing that they forgot about is that Sith, and that even goes with Kylo Ren, that they forget that the Sith feed on their own pain, because we know that with the history of Vader, you know, he had to feed on his own pain, and in the lore, even Sidious made him go back to the temple to harness his pain to gain strength, you know, for himself. And I think that's one thing that they are forgetting about in the lore is that pain also drives the Sith to great strength. Let's see here. A face full of lightning. Okay. In one of the other cuts, Rey ducks the Force lightning and then gives Palpatine a wedgie. I love lore talk. Yes, it's fun. And that's one of the things that, you know, like I said in the beginning and when we started talking a little bit about the ST, is that there was a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential, like even with Finn, even with Poe, even with Ben Solo and stuff like that, that was basically thrown out. And then with Luke Skywalker and how they portrayed him, you know, and all that. So basically thrown out. So we're going to go ahead and switch gears and get out of this nonsense.
Oh, thank you. Woo! All right. Woo.
That was fun torture.
That was just torture.
Torture.
Ugh.
I was going through some evil laughs there. That was fun.
I know you was enjoying yourself. You're just torturing me behind this nonsense. Ugh. I just feel some of my brain cells just melted away behind this madness.
I heard it coming out of your mouth. You're like, please stop.
Please stop. For real. If this was my channel, I would have been tossed out. I would have said, all right, enough is enough. Turn this shit off. I can't.
And it's not. So, but I think I put you in the embrace of pain. You know what that is?
You did. You did. You absolutely did.
Yeah, I kind of went Vong style there and put you in the embrace of pain.
Just intimately. That intimate part is just really just messing with my head. But all right.
Yeah, Rey's story would have made more sense if she had turned out to be descended from a Dathomirian witches, come back to avenge them against Palpatine. But that's just me. Yeah,
that could have worked.
Many different ways because they left that open. They left it open for her story to be something. When it came to her lineage, they could have, expanded on the Dathomirian culture more. You know what I mean?
We got people in our chat giving better ideas than the creative people of Lucasfilm. That's sad. That is absolutely sad.
Exactly. I don't know. I wish I could have
a Jedi from Jakku.
You're lucky I don't have that clip on here.
Oh my goodness.
But we have that.
That was cute, the little party thing that popped up.
Yes, I customized that.
Okay, I'll give you that. Wow. I'm memed all over the damn fandom at this point. But I was happy there, so yeah, you picked a great clip. Got my little dance on.
But that Jedi from Jakku one would have been amazing for this one.
Abu just survived O.G.Starwars embrace of pain. That was painful. I love her embrace, but I don't want to be in pain doing it. That was painful.
Yeah. You have you read the New Jedi Order?
The New Jedi Order?
Yeah, have you read that series? The 19-book series?
No, I've read Legacy of the Force. Is that before or after it?
It's before
that. It's before it. Mm-hmm. No, I only read like 2 of the novels, but unfortunately I got sidetracked and I never really finished it. So.
Okay, so the embrace of pain is basically an invention of the Vong. Their culture basically is that almost like Sith, where you grow from pain and all that. And so when they captured Jason Solo, and even at one point when they had Darth Crate at the
Mm-hmm.
time, or Sharad Het, um, Sharad Het, they put him in the embrace of pain, and what it is a chair that holds you, and everything that the Vong has is basically organic. They don't believe in electronics. They don't believe in machines or whatever. So this
Okay.
brace of pain basically is like a torture chair, and the
Oh.
tentacles go all around the person. And if you try to struggle to get out or anything, or even your thoughts, are struggling to get out, or you're opposing them, that
Uh-huh.
embrace of pain will hug in tightly on you and inject like its little spores in you.
Ugh.
Poison.
Oh, that's
Yes.
nasty.
Yeah. So that's what the
Creative, but nasty.
yeah.
Ugh.
The I love the new Jedi Order series, and if anything, if they would have brought in like Snoke, was predicted to be something totally different, a new
Yeah, not just a clone grown
yeah,
in a
and
vat. That's why you can't even look at the Force Awakens the same. It's like, you're a clone. Ha ha
yeah,
ha.
and
Yeah.
let me pull it up, and then we're gonna go on to Legacy of the Force. I
Okay.
got the comic, or not Legacy of the Force, Legacy comics, but I'm gonna go ahead and show a picture of the Embrace of Pain. You know what? It's in here. Let me just go ahead and this is a perfect segue. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Let me see which one is it.
Embrace of pain.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what happened to me reading that article.
So I am just waiting for my third one to come in.
Oh, nice.
These are so beautiful. Look at Darth Crate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to think he would used to be a Jedi Master himself.
Yes, it's so compelling. But let me see if I can find it. Just zooming through here. But the art is even amazing in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to read those at some point.
Mm-hmm. It even has. He even gets R2. Eventually, he even gets R2. So R2 is also still remaining with the Skywalkers, even then.
Mm-hmm. With the Skywalker family.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. The comics give R2D2 more things to do than the goddamn movies.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes. Let me see. I don't know if it was in this one or the other one, but it does have Darth Crate being held in the
Mm-hmm.
embrace of pain, and it has Viger in there, so it reflects on the story. And it also talks a little bit about Jason.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't had a chance, pick up these. They're all now put together in an omnibus.
What
So
is
I
it?
have one. So I have 1 and 2. Number 3 should be coming out in July.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's the Legacy comics
All
with
right.
Cade, Nat, and Cole Skywalker.
Maybe Barnes and Nobles might have it.
They
I gotta.
do.
They
They're
do.
kind of
Okay.
pricey, but depending on your Barnes and Nobles, you might have to order it online.
Oh, I
Let's
see.
see
All
here.
right.
I think
Well,
everybody's.
my cash is still pretty low thanks to all the super chats I've been throwing y'all way and toxic femininity and everything.
Yes, and thank you. We appreciate that.
Of course.
Let's see here. Oh, I just want to find it. It's probably in the next book, but I thought I seen it in here.
What was you looking for?
Darth Crate in the Embrace of Pain, so I can show you exactly what
Oh.
that is.
Oh, okay.
I might have to pull it up online
All right.
because I didn't mark it in here. I was like nerding out on this all night last night, and I
Mhm.
went to bed late because I was reading these comics. I'd never
Okay.
been a huge comic collector growing up. I did read Star Wars comics, but I never collected them. But now
Mhm.
that I know that they are now pushed aside and they may not, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
trying to
more
scare
valuable than gold.
Yes, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but you never know when they're going to say, "Hey, we're not going to publish these anymore."
That's
You
true.
know. And so I was like, "Okay, I better go ahead and collect them." So, and
I
this is
want Matt G says I want Ray to be the incarnation of daughter because that would explain these powers. I'm promoting Ray to her level of incompetence, like in the corporate world.
hmm,
Oh lordy, lordy, lordy.
I found it. Okay, let me see here. So I don't know if you can make it out clear. Let me just go ahead and see if I can just
Okay.
Okay, it's not letting me show my just showing you. There we go. So this is the Embrace of Pain. That is Asherad. Or it's supposed to be him. Actually, it looks like no, that's Cole. I mean, that's Cade right there because he was put in it by Asherad Het. But that's the Embrace of Pain right there. Yeah, yeah. And so it even has a story with him fighting Obi-Wan on Tatooine. It has that. I mean, there's so much references between the past and present in this, and how they got where they're at when Cade Skywalker is in the picture now, like 100 years after Luke and stuff.
Right.
And then also too, we have a Maricel Fell, which basically she is a descendant off of Leia or Jaina and Jagged Fell.
Right.
So very compelling. So these are what I have. Again, I am like starting to collect because I never collected comics when I was younger. So now I'm picking
You're
up
making up for lost time. Exactly.
Yes, and so now I'm picking all of them up, and they're coming in collections all together in bundles, and so they're like $40.
Oh, okay.
$40. And so, depending on how many series or comic series were created in, or how many comics were created in these series, will depend on like if it's only 1, 2, or 3 volumes.
I know I got to get on my job in collecting some of the Old Republic series from Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah.
They was doing the Star Wars books. They're the best. So their comic book series and their stories, the Sith War, Tales of the Sith, and all of that. I want to start collecting that, so I gotta get on my job with that, just in case Disney want to deep six that too. So
yeah, and Mr. Dystopian, I believe that after the third one comes out of the Legacy, or in Legacy, there's going to be a volume 4 that's going to have Anya Solo in it as well, from what my understanding. So let's see. Okay, gotta get that now. Yes, you guys go get them, because like I said, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but you never know when they're gonna say not produce these anymore, because they are legends. And like I said, the more you purchase of legends, and mind you, I know some of you guys don't like the banner and why it became legends, but you're showing Disney where you want your Star Wars lore to come from when you purchase legends. That's my thing. And mind you, yes, I do have some books that are non-legends labeled, and people like to collect the non-labeled ones that, but they are very pricey. But in the end, and they don't want to give Disney money, and I get it, but in the end, by purchasing legends, or the
like the cover
with legends on there, you're showing Disney where you want your lore to come from. And that's very important.
I like that cover though.
Yeah.
That cover is very nice. No, not that one. I like that one too, but the other one is better. It just looks like a still from a movie for some reason. I really like it. Those guys are
Imperial
badass.
Knights right here. And so these guys were basically trained Jedi in a sense, but their philosophy strays from the Jedi as well. But they still see the Sith as their enemy.
Yes.
So very good.
Nice.
Embrace your dark side. Let's see what he has to say. Embrace your dark side. Yes. All right. Good night, Will. Thank you for coming in and listening.
Have a wonderful evening, Will.
Yeah, torture Abu Nas with that article. That was fun.
Oh,
Legacy is the shit. Yes, it is. Night, Will. Use the banner against Disney because Lucas era Star Wars was legendary. Yes.
Yes.
The hyperspace wars and how the OG Sith came to be. Yes. And
yes.
So,
that too. I'm going to be collecting as well. So I got a lot to do.
And so basically, if you guys could see this here, this tells you all the eras of Star Wars that is that you can collect in the omnibus. Yeah. So you have the Old Republic, Rise of the Sith, the Empire, so 1 and 2, the original Marvel Years, Volume 1. Then you have the Rebellion, New Republic, Legacy, and Infinity. So Infinity is the what if stories that are very fun. And then in this, they have the scroll telling what's going on in Volume 1.
That's good.
And then it has all the comics that are put in Volume 1. So it has the or
Wow,
the.
these guys did their homework. That's good.
hmm Let's see here. Oh, look at this! Sith lightning being shot and deflected.
Whoa.
Whoa! He got it wrong. He should have been using both of his lightsabers because then he could
How
have
intimate was he with his lightsaber, though? That's the key. You gotta
That's
be
Cole
intimate with
Skywalker.
it.
Yeah, that's Cole Skywalker. If he
Oh,
used both of
okay.
them, then they would have defeated the Sith, invasion on the temple on Ossus.
Hmm.
Yeah. So he got it wrong. That's why they probably were defeated. And
Didn't make love to his lightsaber enough. You know, you gotta be intimate with it. You gotta have that intimacy.
nice. Let's see here. All right, the new Marvel Star Wars sucks. Changed my mind. I didn't.
We don't want to change your mind, brother. We are in full agreement.
Yes. All right. So we're coming up on 11 in my time, so 2 hours. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming in. And again, start collecting. If you don't have them, start collecting them in all of their glory, no matter which era you collect. This is what they look like on the side there. They are very thick, very beautiful, very well done. I love the art in here. And it even tells a little bit of the history in the back of each character. Let me see here. And what's going on in the worlds. Like, can't you tell? Wait, where is it at? Where is she at? Oh, no, that's because you can't tell anything because I changed the page. There we go.
Oh.
Can't you tell she's a descendant off of Jaina Solo?
Okay. I
Yeah,
love her look, though.
Yeah, so this is Marisol Fell, and her father's Roan Fell, and they come from Jagged and Jaina's line.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's why she has Force abilities.
Guess Han Solo was very important after all. Start
And
lines of people that has great purpose in the new Star Wars stories that they're making. So yeah.
Exactly. And even I forgot what I was gonna say now. Shit. I just love that when that happens. But I know, right? So it has the descendants from the twins basically in these series, and they oh yeah, this is what I was gonna get because I seen Crate's face here. If you read Legacy of the Force, you know that Jason was trying to change up time because he's seen his daughter with Darth Krayt. And do you know that according to the Jedi philosophy, that you can try to change the future, but it will always correct itself. It corrected itself.
Oh, okay.
They are
That's
still
interesting.
seeing Darth Krayt in full effect. He was trying to prevent, alignment with his daughter Alana and Darth Krayt.
Right.
Now, do we know if that really happened? No, we don't, because by the time we got to Crucible and we started getting into the lead up to these comics, the company was sold. So we don't know. But what we do know is that Jason did not prevent Darth Krayt from happening. That's what he was trying to do. That's why he turned. And not only for his daughter's sake, but also because he didn't want that to happen. Then you get into the Fate of the Jedi, and you see the dark man who helps Luke Skywalker defeat Abeloth. That's Darth Krayt.
Okay.
So Jason didn't stop the future from happening. He just postponed it, and it corrected itself.
Okay.
Oh. And that's what the lore is about. The lore, and when you see Jedi, or when you see Yoda saying the future is always in motion,
right?
That's the case. It's always in motion, and it will correct itself. Yeah. All right, you guys. Okay, so I can go on more tangents and talk more about the lore, but I do have stuff to do and bills to pay. It's that time of the month. So I got to get on that. And so thank you guys for coming and listening and laughing at that funny article with us. I hardly do any Star Wars news because I always like to just talk about George Lucas era of Star Wars. And
it's been a great show.
And next book is The Rule of Two. So
I can't find my Rule of Two book. I don't know what happened to it. I'm upset, and then I'm going to be forced to buy it again. I haven't read it since I had lost the book, and that was over a year and a half ago. So I'm upset. But that's okay.
Why?
Hey, Matt.
Why, hello, Mads. Thank you for coming in. I enjoy all the support that I get from my lovely queens. And we had Lorena in here earlier when she was on break or in driving.
Hopefully everybody smashed that melee button when they came in.
Yes. Yes. Smash that like button and share the stream. Get it out there. You know, we had some fun times. You could see me torture Abu Nas. That was fun. Always a great laugh.
Yeah, that's what I signed up for.
He's like, I'm your puppet.
I'm not trying to make a habit of that, but you know my queen. When she calls me, I gotta respond. So
yeah. All right. So tell us where we can find you, Abu Nas.
Well, the puppet can be found on his channel, Abu Nas, on YouTube. But I'm also Gentleman Abu Nas Prime on Twitter. You can find me there. Of course, Star Wars is my bread and butter. So, you know, that's always going to be my focus. But I can do other things with other things in pop culture, Marvel, DCEU. Release the Snyder Cut. Oh, it's already released. Haha, haters suck it. And you know, another, you know, little movies I might be interested in. Not everybody's cup of tea, as you well know, but whoever goes on my channel that I don't know already or haven't been on there, check it out, see if it's something of your liking, and, you know, drop a subscribe and a follow and everything. And like I said, I try to be as entertaining as possible, but that's pretty much it. So you can find me where you can find me. And thank you to my lovely O.G.Starwars for here rather suddenly, but I'm just so happy to talk about Star Wars in its purest form, which is the original EU, spearheaded by the maker himself. It's always going to be, you know, my favorite thing to talk about, and I'm just so happy to be with you guys here today actually. So thank you.
All right, thank you for coming in last minute. And, you know, just talking about Darth Bane, I think that, you know, it was something that's meant to be, since that's one of your favorite characters.
Yes, it was. So that's another reason why I'm glad you brought me in.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. I appreciate this continued support and the love of George Lucas era of Star Wars. And I shall catch you later. And one more thing, I am having Cameron on a special interview today at 4 p.m. So stay tuned.
Oh, good for you.
Yes.
I don't know if I might be here because I'll probably be out and about at that time. But if anything, I'll catch the playback. How long do you think you're gonna be on with him?
Maybe hour and a half. So that was my special announcement at the end of the show.
Oh my goodness! You didn't announce it?
I announced it on Twitter, but I forgot to announce it on here. So
damn. Oh well, you got to get back on Twitter. Well, no, Twitter's still better. When you get more people from there.